What is up, guys? I am coming back to YouTube for the first time in maybe 3-4 months. I haven't really done this in a while, so other than my G Plus notice have blown up over the past 2 months, I'm not really as serious of a gamer as you guys seem to think I am. Although I will say I will post occasionally to this channel, it's not going to be as intensive as it used to be. So today I have a headliner featuring Windows 10, which is what I've been doing for the past 3 months, alongside exams and all this other crap. So let's get this started. Regarding Windows 10 with pricing concerns, Windows as a service, businesses are kind of lucky. They have already had their plans released to the public. But for hobbyists and or consumers who want to buy this at somewhere like Meijer, there are a few things that should be known. Windows as a service is what it says it is, a service. And service pretty much means you pay me, I give you some sort of monthly type thing. So that brings us to number 2. In an economy, what is a service defined as? Well, if you think about it, it's your cable bill, it's your electric bill, it's your water bill, it's all that stuff. Even insurance, for that matter, is a service. So why I'm concerned about Windows as a service for consumers is because I'm scared that people like OEMs, or in this case possibly hobbyists who build their own computers and make them for family members like my uncle did, if I want to buy this at Meijer, I'm going to have to sign up for something similar to a Office 365 subscription, which is pay $9.99 on a monthly basis, which is in this case absolutely appalling if you want to use your computer on a day-to-day basis, because if you didn't pay that month's fee, you're not going to be able to use your computer. Now, I will say the first year, if you download it, is free, but I'm talking about the rest, like the literal future. So that brings us to number 3. So what can we expect from Windows as a service after the timer for 1 year ends? Well, it depends on what they mean. Service, as in just we're going to update this device, or we're going to make you pay on a monthly basis, which has been a joke for almost eternity after Office 365, but yeah. So for businesses, they get to have the monolithic shrink wrap disk already packaged for them already. It's been announced. So are there benefits to only paying once? Yeah, I'd say it's not as uncertain as consumers may have noticed. Theirs have not been said yet because you have 1 year. That brings us to 2. Because you pay once, is it right to release updates way slower? Well, yeah, it depends on if you're going to play the Microsoft game. For businesses, it makes sense. If you have a whole bunch of computers, do you want them all to be broken at the same time if an update gets rolled out that screws everything up? I don't think so. What is this like compared to Windows 10 consumer plan after the first year? Consumer plan, we're still uncertain, but most of us tend to joke about it and say we're going to have to pay it on a monthly basis after 1 year is up. So I recommend getting Windows 10 in that 1 year, but I'm still concerned for people afterwards. So many features of Windows 10, not enough time to go through it. So the feature rundown today, as far as I'm aware, let me take a look at this. Regards Project Spartan, Cortana, we got Xbox, we got Start, and we got the last rundown is Notice Center, which will be the last one, and then another final thoughts on build 10049. So as we get to that, this slide is Project Spartan. We are on slide 3. So the Project Spartan interface is kind of clean, but you can still see remnants of Internet Explorer, which should be kind of expected, even if it is a fork, which I didn't expect. I don't know if it is or not. You can still see these things like F12 developer options and all these that just work, as well as Caret in the settings. Kind of Internet Explorer-esque. They did say they were going to remain backward compatible, so I mean, for any enterprises, although I don't know what enterprises would want to do that. But on that note, I also have a picture of my website running in the browser, so it's not like I'm just sitting here talking about something I haven't used. I actually do have it, so I've used it, and I will say that I had to restart my computer a total of 5 times in order to get it to work. I'm not quite sure why. Just all of a sudden it just came roaring to life, so it was really kind of strange. But that is Spartan. So next slide, please. Okay, as I said, next is going to be Cortana. Cortana is Microsoft's personal digital assistant, much like Siri. As I will say, it's not really all that stable in Windows Phone or desktop, although I will say it did have its roots on Windows Phone. But unlike Mac users, anybody with a Windows PC will have Cortana. That's probably a useful thing. Let me adjust this real quick. You're going to hear a few bumps. Cortana did start out kind of slow, kind of laggy. I started out in 9926 with it. The only issue I guess I had with 9926 was the speed and stability of the whole thing, not just necessarily Cortana, but I will say it was kind of a shock when I got to 10041 to see Cortana up and running as soon as I clicked it, because I was just so used to Cortana having half of the box appear and half of it just staying like the background of whatever was behind it. But that's Cortana. Also, another thing, I almost feel like Apple's hating, because just recently in 8.0 they've had this thing called Hey Siri. It's not really Hey Siri, it's Hey Cortana. I'm pretty sure Microsoft was the first to adopt that on Windows Phone, but that's just me. Okay, next up is Phil Spencer's Xbox project for Windows 10. This, I think, actually is the first anybody ever heard of Continuum, just because it is infamous for the Xbox Windows app being directly integrated into Xbox One and vice versa. So if you've got a controller, you can use it on PC, and also you're going to need it for Xbox One, unless of course it's got mouse and keyboard integration, or possibly Surface Hub when that's released. If you don't know what Surface Hub is, in the January live event they had one up. It looked like just a regular TV until somebody tapped a button on it. It's pretty much, if you have a smartboard, you take the projector off of that and you give them a magnetic pin, and that's pretty much what a Surface Hub is. It's largely meant for businesses rather than schools that get smartboards, but it's the same thing. So that's a Surface Hub. But Xbox for PC gives PC gamers running on Steam or some other service at some point, possibly. I don't know what the reach is on that. We know Minecraft will. That's Microsoft right there. Game DVR. The last few minutes of gameplay, or 30 seconds or something like that, it will automatically record. So you have that moment where it's like, oh man, I missed it. No, you didn't. Just go back and click Game DVR and it will show you that particular clip, and you can share it with anybody who doesn't believe that whatever happened on screen happened. Also, in regards to Xbox, we also get to see, for once, the arrival of Minecraft into the augmented reality sector, or also known as Microsoft's HoloLens. so you can play Minecraft on your coffee table finally. Okay, so the next 3 slides all happen to be Windows 10 feature rundown, and this is second to last, start making a comeback. So I'm going to explain the next 2 slides, which are both images. For slide number 7, you will be seeing, I believe, is the desktop format, and this is, as you can see, my name in the upper left corner. I was hoping you'd see my image. There's also a picture of my Aunt Missy displaying in the photos. You can see that this is kind of Arnold Palmer half and half, just because, let me adjust this, just because you can kind of experience the Metro apps or modern applications. In Windows 10, they've actually kind of revised this, so when you use Cortana to search for apps, you will see 2 distinct names for programs. One will say Modern App, and the other will say Windows App. They've kind of tried to split these away from just being totally up to date, because obviously Modern Application isn't so modern anymore. But you can see an arrow extending out, that is to make it full screen. Now there's another way to do this as well, as explained in the next slide. Slide number 8. Of course, as mentioned in the last one, we've got a full, almost Wall Street Windows 8 8.1 type start screen. This is not necessarily a start screen, it's what they call tablet version. Now in the next slide, we will go over more of how that got there. But in the tablet version, which somehow miraculously works with any other computers, sorry about that, guys, we will be seeing in the tablet version and PC, it's not backward compatible, but you can actually access the tablet version on Windows 10, and it's actually very, very similar to 8 and 8.1, but it's not quite. That being said, you will notice the differences when you use it if you have used 8 and 8.1 on a computer. Now on a touchscreen, on the other hand, Windows 10 is going to work one of 2 ways, and that's going to be depending on screen size. I think it's like 8 inches or something. You're going to, somewhere between 7 and 8 inches is going to be a boundary. Below this 7 or 8 inches, somewhere in between there, they're going to set it, and this is demonstrating the smart thing, they're going to set it so that it will have just this functionality. Now above 8 or whatever inches, you're going to have functionality for stuff like you know, switching back and forth between tablet mode and PC mode, etc. Another thing about that is that when you install Windows 10 on a PC, it actually detects some of your other stuff, as well as your hardware. Oh, did I mention that? Your hardware, it can finally figure out that you are not on a touchscreen. Imagine that. Okay, so here's the last of the current rundown, the Notice Center. The Notice Center is, as you can see on this picture, I hope, there are a line of boxes, and that's where you can enable tablet mode on a PC, or possibly a Surface, depending on what you're using, again. So that just miraculously appeared in there, and in build 9926 it didn't really do anything, and then I noticed a big difference, such as the, currently what I'm noticing right now is the bar line that you could use to have Metro apps side by side with Windows 32 and 8 and 8.1. That's, I mean, it's still kind of strange to get through that, just because you're, like, a certain amount of time you're just going to forget that some of those 8 and 8.1 features were there. Trying to help my stepbrother out when he was attempting to use Windows 8.1, no, not 8.1, it was just 8, because there was no start button. he was trying to use a laptop and kept getting scared whenever the text got smaller for no apparent reason. So the first thought in my head was, oh yeah, that's when it popped, but I'm kind of scared that eventually I just won't be able to help those on Windows 8 and 8.1 just because I've forgotten how to use it. I will say that anybody who uses Windows 8 on a daily basis will probably tell you that they hated it at first and then over time just got used to it. I didn't really hate it at first, but I didn't necessarily like it either. It's just one of those things. I'm very adaptive when it comes to technology and the way it's used. But what I noticed most about it was the fact that the trackpad and stuff, and another feature that I still have this habit that I want to do, or this impulse to go or to move my cursor up into the top left corner. Reason being, this is where you can find all your open applications except the Windows 32, which would be in desktop. Now, I actually kind of like this feature, and I think Microsoft should bring it back just for the sake of all the applications, both their universal and modern and Windows applications. So that would probably be very helpful to anybody who did transfer, and something new for those Alt-Tab users on Windows 7. So the Notif Center is new in Windows 10. I want to say that partially because there was one before, but it didn't do anything. And I'm being serious. I was wondering, what is this Notification Center or Activity Center? I can't really tell you what it was in Windows 7 because I don't know. But what I did kind of notice was all it had to do with was stupid stuff like Windows Defender and stuff. I think it was actually called Action Center or something. There might be both. I don't know. I haven't used Windows 7 except on like a school workstation in so long that it's like I just kind of forgot half of what was on it. And so also, if you run across the recycle bin icon or any of the others, it looks like Microsoft just discovered their 1990s Paint application. Yeah, look it up. I encourage you to look it up. It's hilarious. Here are my thoughts on build 10049. So just in general, as I explained at the beginning, do not expect any more looping videos as I had shown on YouTube months and months ago. I've gotten farther since then. But for some reason they don't support 16-bit applications, which I fear is a Microsoft mania problem. They can't really, I don't know why, but it's Microsoft's impulse is to do the opposite of any feedback they get. And I'm not saying that because that's literally what they do, but a lot of times it's inadvertently what they do. And C++ is one of those beginner type things that colleges teach, and although I do not approve of colleges teaching this particular subject, I will say that if colleges like Stanford or Yale or someone manage to get their hands on Windows 10 and find out that some of these things just don't work anymore, this is going to be another Windows Vista /8 type problem, and that is compatibility. I don't know exactly where the boundaries are with that, but apparently Windows 10 does not support console applications, and that's where most students learn programming from after graduating from a graphing calculator. So I've never even used a graphing calculator, and I know how to program, so that's going to be an issue. Just a heads up there, Microsoft. Also, before we get going, others apparently seem to have these problems. Now, I want to say that, again, this is not a Microsoft problem. This is a you problem. And this is a you problem because this build is not meant for technically regular people who don't know what BIOS stands for. If you think BIOS is a new type of renewable energy source, yeah, don't even bother, okay? Just don't. Problems others had, according to the slide, USB/Bluetooth/card readers. It miraculously detected my Bluetooth and my USB, Actually, I don't know about the Bluetooth. I never tried, but I did try USB. USB worked fine. What didn't work? Card readers. My SD slot was down, and that's where a majority of my programming files are. And when I first installed the build, that's where I was trying to go. It's like, what the heck? Where's my F drive? Well, it turns out you're gonna need to right-click Start, choose Devices Manager, and find the relevant USB section. When you go to that USB section, you're going to double-click the one and only item that I'm assuming is inside there, because there should only be one item when you install this build, and it's going to say that no drivers were found. I don't know why, because as soon as I hit the button in the dialog box that pops up that says update drivers, it miraculously finds all these random things that are brand named specifically to the computer that I have. So I'm assuming that Windows forgot how to detect some or all of its peripheral drivers. I'm kind of scared that one day we're going to come to a point in this Insider program where you just can't get like your trackpad to work. That's just to the point where I'm scared now.